It has been called the worst informational security breach in 20 years, and we are expecting more information to come out of this. And when the security cluster does give their briefing, what are we hoping they're going to say? I think we can anticipate what they will say, but what would the correct response from them be?
I think that the antidote to this kind of situation is quite clear, and this is something that the campaign has said, is that this kind of journalism is the direct result of the excessive secrecy around not only our own intelligence agencies, but the intelligence agencies overseas. This is, when there is total secrecy, the only antidote is limited transparency. And that's what we've seen, is only limited transparency. The way that our intelligence agencies can protect themselves against the political risk of this journalism is by being more transparent, adopting more openness, release more information to us, take us more into your, into your confidence. And this doesn't have to be, this doesn't have to mean releasing information that is truly sensitive. It often means releasing some very basic information that doesn't compromise whatever state security prerogatives you have, but does provide the South African public with a bit more insight into what you're doing. And it's really introduces this level of transparency and level of accountability that we've seen lacking over many, many years. And unfortunately, it will be the response of the state security cluster likely to seek to clamp down on information more. But it's that clamping down of information that allows these sorts of leaks. In fact, doesn't only allow them, but necessitates these sorts of leaks.
Now, having a look on Twitter today, there were many comments coming through along the lines of, I just had no idea that our government had this in them. But I think this is probably part of the moral of this story, is not to be fooled by what happens in Parliament or the seeming disruptions that we seem to be going through politically, but all governments are wheeling and dealing behind the scenes.
No, absolutely. And I think that it's only through these digital leaks that we begin to understand that, whether it's through WikiLeaks, through Edward Snowden, through these, what are they calling them, spy cables, that we begin to understand that you have the open world where there's sunshine everywhere, and outside, away from the sunshine, in the darkness of secrecy, there are all kinds of things happening. And many of them are things that we would never agree to. Many of them are things that we would stop if we knew that they were happening. And that's why this revelation is so important, because we're finally beginning to sense who is pulling the strings. And what they said is that sunlight is the best transparency. I think that that's what we're seeing now.
Well, Murray, hopefully we can speak to you again once the State Security Agency has released a statement. At this stage, we know that they've said they're aware of the leaks, they're aware that their information is out there, but they're yet to give a proper response. Hopefully we can speak to you again then.
Thank you very much.